Welcome to VW 3.3. Today we're going to review everything you learned about lines in Algebra 1. So first, you'll notice that there are these boxes here. Make sure you put those in your paper too. It'll help you keep your notes organized. In the first box, let's review slope. So for slope, recall that we have m is equal to y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Or some people just say m is equal to delta y over delta x, and that's going to be your change in x over your change in y. For the next part, we're going to have point slope form. Point slope form is simply y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And then we're going to have over here standard form. Standard form is going to be ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Now typically a is going to be greater than 0, and a, b, and c are relatively prime integers. You're going to highlight this part right here. What that means is going to be that a, b, and c, they're going to be simplified as far as possible or share no common factor. And of course, integers are going to be positive or negative whole numbers. And for the final box, we have, of course, our tried and true slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Remember that m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. First problem, find equation of the line containing those 2 points, graph the line. So I gave you a graph so you can see it as we go. To do this, let's first figure out the slope. So m, and you can do that. You can do this part in your head if you feel comfortable. 5 minus 3 over negative 4 minus 2. That would be 2 over negative 6. So that's negative 1 over 3. There's our m. Step 2, what I want you guys to do is this. We're going to use point slope form. This to me is like one of the most useful forms in our class, is because look what we have. We have points and we have a slope. That's why this form is super helpful. So if you look up there, in case you forgot, you can pick any point. I'm going to pick this one because it's all positive, but it doesn't matter. Y minus 3 is equal to negative 1/3, your slope, times x minus 2. We're going to highlight this thing because you're done. That's why it's so great. That's your point slope form, so put PS next to it to note that. Now let's find the other forms if you had to. So for a slope-intercept form, you're simply going to simplify it. So y minus 3, that's equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2 over 3. Let's move that 3 over. Negative 1/3 x, that'd be plus 11 over 3. And then let's highlight that. This would be your slope-intercept, so put SI. And then the last one is going to be standard form. So let me just rewrite our slope-intercept. For standard, notice how a must be positive, and these are all integers, which means we can't have fractions here. So first thing we do is we get rid of the fractions. Let's times it by 3. 3y is equal to negative x plus 11. Now let's move everything over. And we want to keep this thing positive or make it positive. So add to the other side and subtract 11. And right there, that's our standard form. So those are all the forms you should be comfortable with. Let's quickly graph it. So I'll just use the points they gave us, 2, 3, negative 4, 5 to make it easy. Here's 2, 3, negative 4, 5. We could use the slope as well, go down 1 over 3. And then there's our line. On the iPad it's great because you can really make the line pretty precise. And then we'll mark it. The main thing to know for lines is understand how the slope is related. Notice how this is 1, that's 3, and the slope is negative, which indicates this line should decrease. So if you read this line left to right, notice how it is in fact a decreasing line. That's example 1. Now let's go to the next example. Find the slope and y-intercept of this equation. So notice how it gives us a strange form here. This is the book's general form, or some people's standard form. If you're given that, just convert it to slope-intercept form. That's going to be much easier. So we're going to solve for y. 2x plus 4y equals 8. Let's move the 2x over, divide by 4. So y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 2. So m is negative 1/2, b is 2. I'll note that this is slope-intercept form. That's a good habit for you guys too. And let's quickly graph it. We know the y-intercept is 2. The slope is negative 1/2, so go down 1 over 2. And now let's draw our line. And we're done. Next example. Find a line that is parallel to a line given. So to do this, really highlight this word parallel. That's important here. Recall from geometry, parallel means you have the same slope. So if you just imagine two parallel lines, if they're not touching or they'll never touch, the slopes should be the same because that's the only way they will be parallel. So step 1 is going to be find the slope. Find m. So let's grab our equation right there. 2x plus y is equal to 6. Y is negative 2x plus 6. Now what's important to note is that this problem says find the equation for the line that contains this point and is parallel to this equation. So if you imagine this problem, like if I were to draw it for you, negative 2x plus 6, that's somewhere over here. I'll just sketch it. And there's another point, 2, negative 3. Let's say that's like over here. And we want to find the equation of this parallel line, this red line. So currently we have the blue line. So what we're going to write is we're going to say, well, the slope of the blue line is negative 2. So the parallel slope, and that's how you can write it in our class, m parallel like that, must be the same. That's negative 2. So that's the one we want to use. Now we go to step 2, is plug everything in. Use your point slope, because we have a point right here. Y plus 3 is equal to negative 2 x minus 2. And right there, that's your point slope form. Just to practice, we'll do the other forms too. If I wanted slope-intercept, let's just multiply it out. That's negative 2x plus 4. So y should be negative 2x plus 1. That's your slope-intercept form. And standard form, let's just manipulate that That's just 2x plus y minus 1 equals 0. That's your standard form. Okay, let's do our last example. Quite similar. Find equation of the line that contains the point 1, negative 2 and is perpendicular. So notice how now we're talking about perpendicular to the given line. So first, same idea. We're going to find m. So grab that equation, x plus 3y equals 6. We're going to put it in slope-intercept form because that's the easiest way to identify the slope. So y is going to be negative 1 over 3x plus 2. So m is negative 1 over 3. Now we got to find the perpendicular slope. So recall, perpendicular means opposite, reciprocal. That's super important. Opposite, reciprocal slope. And if you think about it, that makes sense because if you draw like a perfect X here, the only way these are perpendicular with a 9-degree angle is if the slopes are opposite and reciprocal. And I'm going to show you that more clearly on the graph so you can kind of make more sense of it there. Now, if we go back to this, the original is negative 1 over 3. So we're going to write m perpendicular. That's like an upside down t. The opposite reciprocal would be positive 3. That's the number you want. So for step 2, we plug everything in. Here's the point that's given. Y plus 2, that's equal to 3 times x minus 1. That's the equation of the line. Now to put some context, I'll show you what we actually did. If you look at this, x plus 3y, this is the actual equation, so we'll do that in blue. Negative 1/3 x plus 2. So here's 2, down 1 over 3. So here's the line we're given. And then it gives you a point, 1, negative 2. And we want a line that goes through this point and is perpendicular to this line. Let me fix that. That's kind of crooked. A little better. So here's our equation right here. So here's our point. The slope is 3, so let's go up 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. And let's draw our line. And there we go. We found that red line that's perpendicular to the blue line that goes through the given point, which is this purple point right there. Great, so that's it. So good luck on the problems and bring your questions to class.